How's it going out there? I've got plum today. There's a bowl I turned yesterday. Need a little bit of gluing, so it was just best that I stop for the day and get some glue into it before it falls apart. Because it's, as I've discovered coming out this morning, it's got a couple more cracks, but it's plum. What can I say? Its mush will be cracking as I speak. It's got a nice purple streak running through it here. Oh, someone's taken up my screen. How you going, Robbo? How you going, Lewis? Yeah, so I got it, and it's got a nice purple streak going across there, and then on the other side, that's the pith. That's got that weird shape going on. So just giving that a little bit of extra glue and yeah, just making sure that it's going to hold, keep its shape. How you going, Robbo?
All right. Yourself? Good day, Lewis. How are you? Haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah. It's been hiding.
Hibernating.
So it had a couple extra cracks when I woke up this morning, so I just thought I'd better glue them. What were you going to say?
I was just going to ask Lewis how he's going with his renos.
Oh, yeah. Nah, it's quite weighty, Lewis, to be honest. But I'm not too sure if you can see it, but it's got a right where the darker bark and the lighter bark meet there. You can see purple running up around here a little bit. It's interesting. It's like I've painted it in there, stained it in there or something. What have you been doing?
Farting around.
Thought I could smell something.
No, not that sort of farting around. Just doing little bits and pieces on Bill's truck to finish it off.
Oh, yeah.
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, Lewis. I knew you weren't drinking on the job.
No, sir, he says.
Although I'm sure there's a lot around that would love it if the snow did turn into malt. Yeah, I'm going to be in and out a bit today, Jay. All right. You have a good sleep, Lewis. Catch you later on.
See you later, Lewis.
And how did Amber go yesterday?
Oh, yeah, she dotted her I's and, crossed the T's and jumped over the hurdles they ask,
Yeah.
You don't find any of that anything for maybe a month because the job actually doesn't start until bloody July.
Oh, right.
It's a call centre.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Amber might be one of the ones I have to abuse.
Nah, 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 nah. I'll tell you offline what the job's about because I can't otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Fall asleep doing this part.
Yeah.
I'm talking about me, let alone you.
No, I know what you meant. That's where I must admit I love my big disc sander where I can just go and it's done, you know.
Oh yeah, yes. When I first read what Lewis put, I got to hit the hay guy. I thought he meant he actually hit someone.
Oh, no. No. I knew what it meant. That looks quite nice, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad looking wood. Just gonna try and sand it off a little bit. That's not gonna work. It's gotta rip the bark off, isn't it?
I'd say so.
Yeah. Okay. That's very annoying. Bloody torture. Just torturing myself.
And Dr. Bob's here. G'day, Bob.
Hey,
How are you?
Hey guys.
Been one of those odd days that you only get hopefully once a year.
In what way?
Well, had to, because cell provider bought one, bought out the other, I had to get a phone update. And that was last Thursday. Well, they keep telling me it works and then it stops and it works and it stops. Then they blame it on a tower and then it's something else. And finally today, we got it working. Except that it doesn't really tell me anything when I call anybody. It had no reference to who's calling, when, and where. And I started getting calls from Ireland as thinking it was a local number they were calling. And I'm not in Ireland.
You
They
sure
got the
now?
country. Yeah, they had the country code wrong programmed into it. So my number appears somewhere in Ireland, but the wrong country code, and that was fixed today too.
Oh, well.
And I couldn't figure out what it was all about, and it happened probably for about an hour and a half.
Oh,
And
I'm
of
sure
course
they fixed it now anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's all about proper programming.
Yep.
They put the wrong country code in when they programmed the phone.
Oh, it
Someone
only
wasn't
takes
thinking.
it only takes one slip of the finger, that's all.
Mm-hmm. And I started getting suspicious when I had a hard time understanding who everybody that was calling me. And they thought they were calling, I think, a bakery, from what I understand.
Well, maybe you should have started up a business.
Yeah, delivery
Like,
fees would have been expensive.
yeah, baking loaves of bread and sending them out.
How was your day today, Robo?
Fiddly, I'm just doing all the minor hookups of all the electrical system in a big motorhome I've been working on.
Ah. What's the voltage within 12, 24
Yeah.
volt?
Well, it depends on the vehicle. Most of them are 12. If it's got a 24 volt system, we try to fit it to a 24 volt system, but in a lot of cases, it's easier to hook to 12 even on a 24 for the simple reason that most of the accessories are all 12 volt.
Ah, okay. But you
That's
still
where.
have to have a 240 outlet occasionally, don't you, when they want to plug
Oh
it
yeah,
in
we got
somewhere?
to. Yeah, but I can run all the wiring for that, but I'm not allowed to hook it up. I've got an electrician that does all that. Our laws on 240 volt alternating current are very, very strict.
Yeah, they are here too.
Good day, Blair.
Hello,
I
gentlemen.
did. Good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. And then there's Blair.
That would be
Hey.
good evening.
How you
Good
going?
evening to Blair.
Yes.
Jay, that bowl is looking really cool.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys tonight?
Pretty good. But then I've got to like the design. I got to like the design of it because I basically told him what to do.
Yeah.
What have you been up to, Blair?
I've been being domestic. I was downstairs doing some cleaning up and doing some dishes and stuff.
Oh, Jesus. You
Yeah,
feeling all right?
You know, when
Well,
the wife works,
Or what?
doing
Or
dishes.
the other way to put it is, what have you done wrong?
yeah.
Well,
No,
since
when the
I
wife
got
works,
the
you
notice,
gotta
I did
pick up the
dishes
slack.
here. Just load the dishwasher.
Well, yeah, that's what I was doing. But that, and unfortunately, being that my workshop is in the garage, I tend to track a lot of sawdust into the house, and so unfortunately, I vacuum a lot.
Yes, that's the unfortunate part about it being a wood turner. Sometimes you tend to get a lot of crap inside. I must admit, I wear a smock all the time, and it's a fairly long one, so generally most of it falls off me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wear one too.
I just ordered my first one.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to take getting used to pockets behind you. And they're higher than hip pockets, which most men are used to reaching back to get to. So that's I still find myself occasionally thinking I'm going to drop it in and it hits the floor instead. So now when I go out, my cell phone goes in the top pocket.
None of my jackets have got top pockets. They get full too much. They get too much crap in them otherwise.
Amen. But they come with them.
It's the one thing that drives me nuts about wearing my hoodie is I don't know how, but I've got pockets in the front, and sawdust always finds its way in my pockets. And
I can tell you why. They're angled. It's the same reason I don't wear jeans. Jeans have got pockets that come straight across, and I always wear pants where the pockets are vertical in them. Like they run down your leg, so at least it keeps most of it out.
Well, at least our smocks come down over the pants pocket. They're long enough to cover that.
Yeah.
But here most clubs have their own design and their logo on them, and custom embroidery of the name and stuff like that. It's all part of what being a member is. You still got to pay for it, but
Yeah.
So it costs you $40, but it has your name on it and the patch for the club. I'm trying to get the patches so you and Jay as members get at least patches sent to you if you want to wear them. But we also, and this might sound odd, we've had stickers for years, of which when people come visit a club, we give them a sticker along, as part of a little welcome thing.
Oh yeah.
So I brought that up, but that got to get that out of wherever they put stuff in storage when we had to move out of the art center.
Yep. Oh well.
They'll
The only
come.
way to look at it, Bob, is that you may find somebody better than what you had, something better than what you had.
Did you guys happen to catch Lewis's premiere today?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
He's building birdhouses, and that guy knows his stuff. I guess he's kind of known for doing rolling pins.
Oh yeah. I've lost count of the amount of rolling pins I've done over the years.
I bet.
Yeah. Well,
The biggest one I ever made was out of red gum. It weighed 32 pounds. It was 4 foot long and 4 inches in diameter.
Good Lord.
A French style pin.
No, perfectly parallel. What it was, and I had to build the bench to fit it on as well. They wanted pie crusts rolled out to an even thickness. So the way we did it was we had a bench with 2 rails up the side, and then the rolling pin had 2 spigots on it that sat down in there so as I could slide it and push it along like a roller. And yeah, that cost them a pretty penny, but
Yeah.
I must admit it looked good when it was done.
Yeah. I've turned some French pins because I haven't been able to get the device to put the American style or North American style with the handles that turn separate from the pin, because the French pin has no handles to it.
That's right. Well, I've done a few of the Yankee style ones, I suppose, with a revolving thing. But if you watch somebody rolling, like a pastry cook rolling out dough or anything, they don't use the handles anyway.
Yeah. I've noticed that in my family.
My mother always used to use a milk bottle when they were
My
glass.
mother used a rolling pin for something different than that when I was acting up. I got the rolling pin a few times, not a switch, because so the story goes, though before I have memory, I got a switch taken to me, and it caused a welt. And when changing a diaper, they saw the welt, because back then they were cloth diapers, and it showed up under through the diaper. And my mother supposedly cried for hours that she damaged her little boy. Was going to take me off to the hospital. We called the doctor, and they said, "Don't worry about it. It'll get worse. Just don't use a switch on them."
So use a rolling pin instead to beat them to death.
Yeah. Well, that was the big thing. They'd shake it and you'd run. And so you better be hiding in your room, on your bed, not under it. And
Good night,
tell
Chris.
you when to get off your bed.
Hey, Chris.
No, my mother's favourite weapon was the fly swatter or the wooden spoon.
How you going, Chris?
I have had many a wooden spoon broken across my butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have too.
I don't know. I think they got better at making them, but yeah, yeah.
And now, unfortunately, you use something like that and they can take your kid away and put you in jail.
Yep.
And the
Those are
people that are
different.
doing it are people who it was done to as a kid.
Yeah, well, there's a distinct difference between discipline and cruelty.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, my kids, it was always one swat.
Yep.
And I called it an attention getter. And
Yeah,
then we
that's it.
Ooh, paint stirrers, yeah.
How's the wife going, Chris? Just in case those that don't know, Chris's wife has got COVID.
Oh, crap. Sorry, Chris. Keep us up to date. Yeah, when I was working at Home Depot, I would bring home those 5-gallon paint stirrers, and we called it Mr. Swacky.
We had a teacher that used to bloody use a steel ruler.
Ooh.
She was a bitch.
She's having a rough time. That's not good.
No.
Is she home or is she in the hospital? Oof. There's
How are you, Jamison? Sarge? You want to come in, Sarge?
He was having computer issues. I don't know if he still is.
He's got a different excuse every day. Let him go. We'll give him shit. We'll give him shit from here because then he has to wait 30 seconds to hear it, and then he has to type back. That's another 30 seconds for it to come back. we can give him shit for ages.
Oh, and Jocelyn.
Hey, Jup.
How you going, Justin?
How's it? Oh, that's good, Chris. Yeah, Justin, how's the house sale going? I know you only listed it the other day.
Yeah, is that all you got, Jamison? Wow.
Hey, Jamison, do you want me to give him?
Yeah. Are you letting your daughter type? That's not much.
Hey, Justin, I just bought a property down at Menzies Creek, mate. It's a nice place, got a good shed on it.
I'm going to rent it out too, Justin.
Got power?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Justin, it was just easier to move my lathe there instead of bringing it to my house. So we've just figured it was just best, for you too. Oh, don't be like that.
I just want the address so I can look at your house.
Can
we have the address again? We forgot.
I'll just take you down there when we're ready. Just to fill everybody else in, Justin is selling his house in the city and moving down to the country about 30 or 40K from us. And he's found a nice property down there with a big shed and everything on it. He doesn't want anybody to know where it is. So that's why we're stirring him about it, that I just bought it.
Good for you, Jup. That's awesome. Awesome. I can't even talk tonight. That's actually my dream, is just to kind of move, not really off grid, but enough that.
All right. You snowflake, Sarge.
All right. See you later, princess.
Go and sulk in the corner. Sarge says, quit eating, Blair.
Hey, Bob's eating, so I am too.
Yeah, just had my dessert, 10, 12 grapes.
Oh,
It's
Look
rough
what-
being diabetic.
look what I got for afternoon tea.
Ooh,
Oh.
those look good.
Yeah, probably so much sugar would kill me.
Oh, I know, yeah, I shouldn't have them, but I love custard tarts. You just keep standing, Jay.
Reading between the lines again, eh? He's
Yeah.
speaking between the lines. At my age, I'd like to find a nice little retreat that I could move to and take my lathe and all my tools and just relax and turn and not have to worry about getting up and fixing meals or whatever. I don't mind taking care of the dog, though. Usually curls up in the shed waiting for me to uncover some treat. He knows where I hide him because before he comes in, I usually hide a bunch that he can sniff out and find, and it takes, a while to do that.
Do you guys know who Dreadnought is?
And I don't.
Who is?
His name's Dreadnought. First name's Daryl. No?
Hey, no. Hey, this is good. I like this. This is cool. I can shuffle people around. It's like playing noughts and crosses.
Sure, you're
Anyway,
doing the hosting.
He was on Sunday. I think it's Maker Central or something like that. And he's quite the turner. I mean, he's really good, but he's also into barbecue. And he had a brilliant idea, is to open up his own shop, teach people how to turn during the day, and then at night he'd have a barbecue and everybody would do it. I thought that was a hell of an idea.
Yeah.
I've only cut one up so far, Justin, and I don't know whether they're eucalypt or actually paper bark. The one that Jay got looks like paper bark, and it unfortunately had that many branch inclusions and bark inclusions that it kind of fell apart. Justin just asked, did you end up getting many decent blanks out of those uke blocks I left there, Robbo? So,
Justin, I got that piece of ghost gum that I left for you and Darren. I got that cut in half, so you've both got a bit of crutch each. Woohoo!
yeah.
And then any blanks that we did cut up, I've put in a pile. So there's a pile for Darren and a pile for you. I don't know what happened to that pile when I left, but
I sold it.
I thought so.
Yeah, I haven't finished cutting it up yet, Justin, so I don't know. But no, Darren called in yesterday, actually, and picked up. He didn't pick up his timber because he's on his way to Queensland. Now, Justin.
Did he drop some off?
No, I don't. I have no idea. He was sort of raced in and raced out.
No offense, but does that actually happen?
Sorry.
No offense to him, but does that actually happen?
Yeah. He said only about 3 words. I nearly had a heart attack. No, I had Elizabeth in the car with him. They were on their way to Queensland, so he was running late. All right, see you later, Justin. Hope the photography and everything goes well on the house.
See you, Justin. Thanks for coming in.
Still say you need to open a big turning school down there and supply bunks. People can come spend a week, 2 this summer.
We don't have the population, Bob.
Well, you got a global population to draw from.
Unfortunately, getting to Australia is 12 to 16 hours and
A lot of money.
a lot of money and a lot of time.
Yeah.
It costs more to fly from Detroit to San Francisco or LA than it does from LA to Australia. And that's a shame.
Yeah, we're the same. We're the same in Australia, Bob. It's actually dearer to fly intercapital in Australia than what it is to fly overseas.
Well, when I asked it, they said it's all the taxes. Because when you fly through different people's airspace, you pay a fee. And that handles the ground control and all that supports it. So it's the passenger that actually pays for the services to keep the plane in the air, gas, everything. But part of it goes back to the federal government as a tax.
It could be a bit embarrassing if you didn't pay the money and they decided not to let you land, wouldn't it?
That'd be a title of a good movie.
So my father is 86 years old. He has always wanted to go to Ireland. And I looked up how much it would be to fly from Utah to Ireland. And it was almost $5,000.
Yeah.
Just crazy. And that was only a week stay. And that was no hotel, no car rental, anything like that. That was just the flight.
Yeah. And it's probably worse now because with COVID, although prices should drop a little bit because of COVID, I think. I hope. Oh, my wife's hoping anyway.
Blair, if you check again sometime, try booking through Canada on a Canadian airline, because they are a lot cheaper to go overseas than American Airlines. At least they used to be about 3 years ago, when I had friends going. That was their trick. From here, we'd fly to Toronto or take the train, and then the people would fly overseas.
Yeah, when Mum and Dad were going to, my brother used to work in New York, and Mum and Dad used to go over there about every 2 or 3 years. They used to fly to Japan and then catch another flight from Japan, from Tokyo to New York. It saved them about $200 or $300. Plus it gave them a break in the trip as well for a day.
Yep. And often, depending on the airline, and you buy the tickets together, but through the airline that you're doing the long haul on, like Japan to New York, you buy the ticket through them, and they set you up, at least with friends I've had travel, with the hotel room as included, and it's ridiculously cheap as part of the package. Because they have no direct connection at that time, and if it's over a 12-hour layover, well, we have one, and we'll get you this, and Well, if you talk about the price, they often give in and give you the hotel room because they own the hotels for a big chunk of them for their staff and flight crew. So they have a lot of rooms they buy in blocks. So that's one way of getting around doing that transcontinental hop.
And Sarge, are you there by yourself again now, or you still got all your in-laws, outlaws, and kids?
Now here's some better prices. I'm looking at JetBlue. Doesn't really say um, when, but just a little over $1,000. But it's 40-hour, 15-minute, which means there's 2 stops and there's probably a layover.
Hello, Joy.
How you going, Joy?
No way. Joy, I thought you left us. I have been looking all over for you.
She
I,
might
I was supposed to send her a little funnel that I made, and um, one day it just disappeared. But it also, remember the dog that we were babysitting? I thought the dog ate it. And no, somebody just put it in a random spot and all that. So, Joy, I still have that funnel if you want it, and I would be happy to send it to you if you want it.
take a Bex and a good lie down, Joy.
Either that or what is it, Excedrin migraine. Those things are miracles. And also, be careful because that's also a sign of COVID too. Joy, I think I still have your address. I'll have to go back through Messenger and see if I still have it. Blah, 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 COVID crap.
Yeah. I got a
Yeah,
neighbor
tell
that
that to Chris. His poor wife has it.
yeah, got a neighbor down the street that you say hi when you walk the dog and you get to know them over the years. And they wouldn't wear masks, wouldn't do anything that they were suggested because it's supposedly a big political hoax. Uh, 2 of their kids have been very sick with it and still having some problems, and now the wife has it. And it's like, yeah, I guess it really is. It wasn't a hoax, is what they told me last time I saw him out when I was walking Riley. No, not a hoax.
Chris, that's really cool. Good job. Why is that, Sid? Oh, you could probably make some. Oh, I don't know. What do they call them? The things that you use to plant seeds. You know,
A dibble?
a dibble. That's it. Make some dibbles.
Yep, turn a
Dibbles,
bunch of them.
dibbler, dibble.
Is it a dibbler and you dibble with it? Or is it a dibble and you dibbler? I don't know. They sell well at craft shows.
Chopsticks, spurtles, magic wands.
Toothpicks.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're a motley crew, all right. Shavings.
Do I think alike?
Bless you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I
Hello.
took it off of mute mid sneeze.
Hi, Amber.
Hello.
Could
How
I,
you
Amber?
doing?
Hello, hello, hello.
Here you go.
One guess who is Jerry Garcia?
And pour that dragon.
What? Oh, you pushing Robbo's head
Yes.
back down.
No,
Putting
he's
his
Jerry
back on.
Garcia. He's the one that looks most like him.
He's got the beard for it.
Sid says hello, and Sarge says hello, Amber.
Yeah, cool.
Take it, honey pie.
She says hello too. Thanks.
Did I catch that Amber is going to be taking a job?
No, she's applied for one and had a job interview.
Oh, good.
Call center.
Inbound or outbound?
In.
Much better.
Well, when you get the lathe and she gets that one, has she figured out what color she's going to paint it?
Pink. Doesn't have to think hard about that one.
I got a kick out of one of the people. I forget what. Oh, it was Grand River wood turning, I believe.
Shit,
They
I
were-
don't even know why I put
They
that
were
on.
doing some green screen of their own, and you
You know,
can key
I
on
should take
blue.
that off. That would work better,
And
wouldn't it?
It keyed on the lathe, and it was hilarious while he was working.
Oh, Sarge, I just saw what you just sent. Oh, that kills me.
Yeah, good night, Sarge.
All right, Sarge. See you later.
Yep, take care.
The
I see they finally freed the Evergreen out of the Suez Canal anyway.
Oh, good.
did they finally get it?
Yeah,
Wow.
Last I heard, they had almost 1,000 ships backed up,
That
oh
was a
yeah.
counting
pretty
both ends.
well planned. That was pretty well planned, wasn't it?
Hmm.
That was the same boat that hit a cruise liner a couple of years ago.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Hopefully, it's not the same captain.
Well, one would hope not.
Well, I've seen a couple of interviews that they carried through on TV here about that people saw it happen, and it was really gusty wind. And with all those containers on there hitting it broadside,
Yep.
you know,
And the
he was
problem is
trying.
the problem is too that they're not allowed to go at the speed to maintain navigational speed. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because once a ship gets underneath or a boat gets under a certain speed, it just doesn't respond to the rudders. I've actually been in the simulator of where they train the big container ships, where they train the big container ship captains. That's interesting. They take nearly 5 miles to stop, from full
Yeah.
ahead to full stop.
Wow.
I've heard that.
Do you know you can actually get a college degree for ship captain?
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, see, I reckon that'd be interesting. I'd say that probably the pilot would have to wear probably 80 or 90% of it.
Oh yeah, they take over all control and guidance of a ship.
Yeah.
Fake Chinese food or pot pipes? Joy,
Pot
you kill me.
pies. Chinese pot pies. I know when I was in Hong Kong during the Vietnam era, that's where I take R&R for one of them. Is that they had some excellent food from Chinese food, not like we get here, much different. And they had pies that you could hold and carry with you, you know, that you're going to take while you worked in the field. Put a little box and carry it on over your shoulder. And they had tiered boxes nested, but they were pot pies they had for that just fit the round box. And they were good.
That sounds
Even
like our
cold.
meat pies.
Yeah. But they never stayed hot if you were a worker. But when they cooled down, you could pick it up and eat it and hold it.
Yeah, sounds like our pies.
And then there's a pie that comes from north. It comes from Ireland or Scotland, where the mines are. That they'd stuff full of dough and they'd pack it for the miners so they could eat
Yeah,
underground.
Cornish,
Yeah. But
Cornish pasties.
they always had a little handle on it. And I
Yeah.
couldn't figure out why the little handle until someone said, miners don't wash their hands when they're underground. That's what they hold by it, and it's just dough, and then they throw it away and let the rats eat it. Okay.
No, my brother always reckoned that if he opened up a business in New York, it'd have been an Australian pie shop because there's nothing like it over there.
What makes it different?
Well, they're only 4 inches in diameter.
Oh, bite size almost.
Yeah, no, not quite. They're about the size of these, like
Oh,
that. They come in
okay. Yeah.
a foil thing, or some come in foil, some don't. But don't seem to have them anywhere in America.
No, I've never seen a meal like that size in a pie. But that size pie we see all the time, but mostly fruit pies and apple pies, the type you pack for lunch.
So what's usually in an Australian pot pie?
Well, I don't know what a pot pie is, but our pies are either meat pies, steak pies, steak and mushroom pies, steak and tomato pies, curry pies, potato pies, you name it. Basically, a lot of them got it. Then there's pies with peas. Or a pie floater, which is a pie and gravy.
Mm. See, we've got the cheap version over here. They're only like about $1 a piece, and they're maybe about 4 or 5 inches. But they usually have like peas and carrots and gravy and potatoes, and I mean just a minuscule of some kind of meat, which you never know what part of it's from, chicken, pork, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see them
Joe's
here
put
at 7-Eleven.
yeah, pie floater is a pie and pea soup. That's right. Very nice too.
I put a link in the private chat for the people in here and a link in the normal chat for everyone else.
Yeah, so you can see what an Australian meat pie looks like.
What's your favorite, Robo? Or do you have one?
I'm a bit. I just like a plain steak pie. Or
With gravy?
if I'm in Queensland, pie with peas, but they don't make them the way they used to anymore.
Huh.
Yeah, I saw a program several years ago, that must be 10, 15 years ago, where people were complaining about or talking about the fact of some of the pot pies that we had when they first come out. You put them in the ovens before microwaves. And I forget what Bird's Eye, I think, was the company. And they were frozen. And they were the prerequisite of a TV dinner where you get a tray with stuff in different compartments and you bake them. It's pre-microwave in those days. But they used to have fruit pies and stuff like that were frozen. I know I used to buy them and take them to school when I was in college. And everybody had microwaves, so you just nuke it. And that was your lunch. It's cheaper than the cafeteria.
I remember when I first moved away from my parents and lived on my own, I lived off of frozen burritos and top ramen.
Sounds familiar. Some of the youngins I've known and had. That's typical broke college kid food.
Oh yeah, back when my my gut was iron proof, I could eat anything I wanted and eat lots. I remember when I could eat a whole pizza. and still not get fat.
You're much more active,
Yeah.
more than likely, too.
I could eat. My brother and I used to order 3 family-sized pizzas and finish them. Not anymore.
Wow.
I know with 2, and sometimes when they have friends over, up to 5 teenagers here, pizzas get devoured too quick. I know where to buy them at, where I can get the big double box pizzas with whatever they want on them, and I ask for the deep dish, so it's more filling, more bread, and that seems to settle her. But it'll be gone by morning, and Riley will be sitting there waiting for crusts. And then afterwards, he always curls up and sleeps it off too.
Huh.
Not supposed to feed him, but somehow he ends up with them. I think it's sympathy or laziness. Throw it away.
You okay
I
there,
don't like that.
Bravo?
I make sure
One
they
more.
grind it up.
Yeah, it'll get there
One
eventually.
more. Come
One
on.
more sneeze. It's right
Yeah.
there.
Come on.
No.
Look at the roof, Robbo.
Yeah.
It makes it come out quicker. Go on.
It might be 5 minutes or so, but it'll get here.
Well, gesundheit then.
What kind of kid were you as young, Robo?
Sorry?
Shithead.
Athletic? What kind of
A
kid
shithead.
were you?
What kind of a kid was I? No, I wasn't into athletics much. I didn't play football. I didn't like that much. I used to enjoy long distance running. I forget what we used to call them now, like a cross country running.
Yeah.
I used to like orienteering as well. And I used to do a lot of hiking and leading hiking parties with my brother. I love bike riding. I was in the schoolboy bike riding team and did pretty well at that.
Skid
But
kids.
I'm a bit of a I'm not a team player. In fact, all my school reports does not get on well with others. And that was because I was so bloody short and the youngest in high school. So I've always been a loner.
You've always been a turner, you just didn't know it.
Mm. No, my mother says I was a very well-behaved child most of the time.
Yeah, all mothers say that though.
No, my
Oh,
mother
no.
wouldn't if we weren't.
Oh, I've heard the phrase hellion from too many people I know that talk about their kids. Always getting into trouble, doing things they were told not to do.
I know, we knew the consequences if we did something we weren't supposed to be doing, I tell you.
Yeah, that's for me too. Like, I had a problem in, let's see, how old would I have been? 12, 11. I have to remember the household we lived in because they had screw-in fuses in the basement overhead. And I remember with doing stuff with electricity, and I knew where the spare fuses were, so I could real quick get on a ladder and unscrew one fuse and put another one in its place before my mother noticed it.
So you're a rat bag.
Well, I used to do a lot with electricity, and I was really interested in,
Apparently a little too much, eh?
well, overloading sockets or shorting something, build it and plug it in and watch it go bang. And then I wonder where the short is in what I did and have to look again. Often it was because I was soldering with, we used to have a Heath kit as a company here where you buy a kit and then electronic kit and you build it just step by step with a soldering iron.
Yep. Yeah, we had them here too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
Jake.
get a wrong connection somewhere and blow a fuse.
Dick Smith used to have like hundreds of little kits, and then you could buy a book that had all the instructions in to how to build them and stuff, and what parts you needed if they didn't come with the kit.
Yeah.
JK had the same thing.
No, they just took over from Dick Smith because Dick Smith.
Yeah, I know.
No, they were good
Yeah.
because you could get little black. You get a black box, pretty much whatever size you wanted, with a tin backing, alfoil backing or something like that, aluminium, So then you could have screw your switches in or whatever. And, yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, that's the evolution of what we had, is because they just give us the raw components, your capacitors, diodes, resistors, and it'd be in a box, and then a list of what you had, so you had to check it. And step by step, you do this, solder this, mount these sockets.
Hey, Dr.
in this
Bob?
position.
Can you just reach across to Blair and poke him in the ear? He's going to sleep.
I can poke him in a place better than that.
Ooh,
Damn,
ooh.
man.
I can help you by pushing down or in the ear. Hefty that way to be in the ear.
Yep. Well, you'd be pushing his whole head off with that finger.
But I built my own ham radio stuff, receivers first of all, and then a Morse code type transmitter. And I was doing that before I turned 13, because I know that because we moved from the city of Detroit out to the country on my 13th birthday. And the first thing I said when I saw the house, because I'd never seen it until that time, it was a surprise to my brother and sister and I.
No, your
The
parents
first
were
thing
trying
I
to move
said-
so you couldn't find them.
Well, they didn't want us climbing trees because my brother had already fallen and hurt himself from the peach tree in the yard. But they wanted to be in the country, not in a big city. And the school systems were better out there than the Detroit systems were. And so it was an interesting move. But the first thing when I saw the house is, I can put a ham antenna on that corner. Can't I, please? And they said, well, yes, because I've been bugging for it in Detroit, but we had trees and I couldn't put an antenna up because the trees covered the house, all the corners of the house, without cutting down or trimming a tree. So they gave up and said, well, you have to earn the money. That's the bad part. Cutting grass, but we had to plant the grass first. It was a new project. But
Guys, I'm gonna sign off. Tammy just got home, so I will see you
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks for coming in, Blair. Take it easy.
yes, take care.
See you later,
We'll
Blair.
see you tomorrow. But I got my ham antenna.
With persistence, of course.
I earned it. But I also had other ham operators that took pity on me and said, well, I have an old tower. First, the antenna went on the chimney, and then someone said, well, you got a tower. Would you help us put it up? And I went over like hams do, get together to put up an antenna, a tower raiser. And then, lo and behold, he said, you want to take the old one back with you? And of course, I thought it was going to get killed when they come up with a trailer and unload 3 sections of a tower. in the driveway for me. But I got
Was
it
Mum
up there
impressed
that
with
year.
that in the driveway?
Well, the fact that it was so high, they thought it might have been just above the roof, but it was just high enough I had to have a red light on the top of it because we're in a landing path for a regional airport at the
Yep.
time.
Sort of like a barn raising, Joy said.
Yeah.
That actually looks pretty bloody good, Joe.
That is
Not
fantastic.
bad, huh?
You put it on eBay or in a shop, that's worth some money, in my opinion.
Just get put in the corner for whenever I decide to go to the markets.
Well, I've heard of roasts other than the ones you eat, where they get a celebrity or something and all his friends hang it on him. In Australia, we call that a bullshit session.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a barn raising party. And ham operators of all ages. I had three friends, and one of them was the head of the science department for the school system I went to. He was the science teacher that I had at the time. And he was a ham, so he came over, and they wouldn't know. My mother didn't want me on the roof of the house because you had to anchor the top of the antenna in case of wind. And then, like idiots, no one read the instructions. Well, it wasn't any. The guy that took it down, that gave it to me, was there. Is that it's, oh, you know, you're above, and I forget the footage. You got to have a red light on top of it because of your airport. And everyone stared at each other. We screwed up. We have to either climb it, take it down, and put it up again. Oh, but that was fun. I enjoyed being a ham operator.
It sounded like you said a ham operator then.
Yes, ham, Ham. It's amateur radio
Ham.
nickname.
Did you handle the meat?
I won't touch that.
Joy said, no, it's where you buy a whole bunch of chilies and roast them. It takes a lot of people to clean and bag 150 pound of green chilies. Out here they have, probably do in America as well in the wine growing regions, but they have a wine bottling party where they buy a keg and like a cask of wine, a big oak cask
Yeah.
of wine, and then rebottle it. There's a lot of drunk people generally at the end of it because they sample as they go along, some of them.
Some of them. Most of them. You don't want to be around drunk people, you might as well join in.
No, we got a few good vineyards here in Michigan, southern Michigan. Though this last winter killed a bunch of their grapes off at several of them because it was so cold for so long and they could only keep the heaters going. They didn't have enough fuel, so they have to heat they do trees in the winter. Some of the fruit trees have to be kept heated. No matter how you look at that piece, Jay, it's gorgeous. That wood and everything just stands out so nice.
Yeah, the plum's really nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
As you can see the purple in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can even see it on the sides there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, just
I'll
hope it
take
stays like that.
yeah, hopefully. I'll take it off in a second. I'll show you the oh, you can't see it so much in the bark now because I put oil on it. Oh. It don't matter.
What, lemon oil?
No, it's mineral oil and beeswax that I made up.
Oh, okay. Jay's secret recipe.
No, no secret. Just
Add
messing
a
around.
fragrance,
You know?
add
Sorry?
a
Joy says it.
fragrance to it, and you could sell it.
Yeah. Good.
Joy says I like the grain on it. It has a lot of character.
Thanks. Get a full screen for a sec.
Yep. Wait on. Sorry, I muted you.
Puts me on bloody mute instead. God. You can see the purple there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And those cracks, the way you handle them, they just give it character. The chip on the side, is that on your other side? Yes.
That one. Or that
No,
one.
on the side, the bark.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got that filled in. The light hit it just right there, and it looked like you didn't have oil in it.
Oh no, I've
Just
got a paint.
It reflected off of it.
I've got a toothbrush that I use to get in the nooks and crannies. I really like the piff on this.
They say it's got character, and that's what I love to turn now that I'm not turning urns.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's probably one of the most defining features on the bowl, other than the purple going through it. And I didn't want to fill it in too much. I did a little bit there. But yeah, very interesting.
Too bad you don't have a little brass ring
What?
that you could, a little brass ring that you could actually take the spigot you have on the bottom, and it fit into it so it would hold the bowl up just slightly off the table, so people could see all of it there.
Oh yeah.
You know, like a foot.
Yep.
Now, there's one thing I did once that I was able to, and I used it all up by now, but I had a piece of copper pipe, and I used to slice that off with a metal blade on my bandsaw into 1.5-inch high pieces.
Yep.
And I would use that for a pedestal to sit some of my stuff on, and some of the urns, and use that as the foot instead of having to take off the piece that I used to chuck it with. But the client never knew what was going on, and I'd fill the bottom in.
All right, you can take me off full screen now, Robert.
You sure now?
Oh, I'll tell you, Robo, you taught him well.
Yeah, it's definitely a vast improvement on 12 months ago.
And like all youth, he's not afraid to try. There's been some pieces I've watched him turn and make the lathe walk that I wouldn't touch. Just goes to it.
Oh, yeah, I'm not be able to do much anyway because it's there.
Yeah, Joey, I agree totally.
Yeah, I can't stop it. Say English, Chuck.
Wait.
What is that?
Calling it a bloody ashtray. How rude.
That's one nice thing I've learned the hard way. Every time I mount something, I make sure I have a center mark on both sides so I can always remount it to be sure I'm on center.
Yep.
I've learned that when I threw a few pieces and wondered why. Yeah, young and overconfident. Robo, were you trained in wood turning in a school or?
Uh, Basically, I learnt from an English wood turner.
For as an occupation or as a hobby first?
Oh, it's a hobby. No, I had a big mechanical repair business, and I used to do all the low voltage wiring and generators and things on a shipbuilding place next to me, or a boat building place. And he was a wood turner when he migrated out here from England. Couldn't get a job as a wood turner, so he took up his living as a boat builder. And he wanted to learn metal work, and I wanted to learn wood turning. So for 5 years or 7 years, I used to go across there for 3 or 2 nights a week for 3 or 4 hours. He'd teach me wood turning, and I'd teach him metal work on the alternate weeks.
Ah. But you're a production turner, and that's such a different background than a
Oh well, I
creative
started off doing craft work, but he taught me production turning as well. And I found there was no money in craft work, so I took up production or architectural turning. Yeah, 36 hours of doing nothing but beads and coves.
Did it pay well?
Sorry?
Must have paid well with all the lathes and shop size you got. Or were you the only farmer in town?
No, there used to be 4 of us within 3 kilometres of each other here. 3 other wood turners besides, but we all did different things. And if I was overloaded with something, I could send it across to one of the others, or they could send what they had across to me if they got a good job that was too complicated. And yes, I've made a good living out of it over the past 40 years. I wouldn't like to be trying now. Good night, Joy.
Yeah, have a good rest and catch you tomorrow.
See you later, Joy. Thanks for coming in.
No, he was a good teacher, as blunt as a hammer, but that's the way you learn.
Yeah, my grandfather, he was politely put an SOB, and his father, which we referred to as Old Pa, was still around, and he was an SOB, and everybody was Sonny. Sonny, you better do this. Sonny, you better do that. Didn't matter. I was great grandkid. Sonny, come do this. But it took a while to figure out which of us he was talking to. And my grandmother finally said, well, you have to understand one has a higher pitch than the other. And I'd never noticed that. I just hung out at their shop. I went and visit my grandmother and spend a month during the summer just to get away, to give my parents a break. But I had more fun watching them turn and cleaning his shop and learning about all the tools and learning how to sharpen. Unfortunately, after that summer and I went back to school, I got a lot of detention because I picked up the attitude that they both had. I couldn't use it at home, but I tried it at school with friends and other students. It didn't work out. Principal didn't
No,
see it that way.
never does.
No. Nope, I was in grade 5.
No, hold on. It's all right.
What's the matter, Jay?
Oh, the bowl fell off. I think.
Didn't hurt it, did it?
Yeah, a little bit. I think the crack opened up a little bit more there.
A little more glue and
And the tool
whatever
got
you
caught
fill
in
it for.
tool got caught in it, and then ripped it out of that.
Yeah.
Then it got got a mark going across it now. There.
character.
Yeah, just enough to piss me off, to be honest.
Perfection is the key to perfection.
Or should I get it and do another one and just make it a hat trick or what?
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
think it still look good.
Yeah, I'll look at it tomorrow and I might like it more, but not at the moment, not with that mark on it.
Why? What happened?
There's a crack in the bottom, and I'm guessing it opened up a little bit when I was trying to take the tenon off.
Oh, yeah. What, flicked out, did it? Bummer.
Yep. That's what that mark was that I was showing just then.
Yeah, yeah. It can be corrected.
So, like I said, I'll put it aside for today, and I'll
Yeah, just
I
sand
can't-
it out.
yeah. It's deep.
Or what you can try, have you got an iron, like a normal iron for ironing clothes? Right.
Yep.
Heat it up hot and get a wet towel and put over the top of it and then iron it so you force steam into it. And sometimes that'll pop the mark out.
Yep. All right. That's all. I have to fix.
Works in dents on tabletops a lot of the time.
Yep. I'll have
Oh,
to fix it because it's not mine anymore. So. It's already got a home to go to, so.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I better go and help Bill, I suppose.
Yep, we'll catch you tomorrow.
All right, thanks for coming in.
If you're going away tonight, Jay, I'll join you tomorrow. I don't want to leave you hanging alone.
No, I think it'll be right. If someone will come in. That's all
What you
good.
going to be doing? Turning something else?
Oh, not tonight. No. No, I'm done. I've done an hour and a
That's why I
half.
was saying if you're done, I'll drop out too.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you both for coming in.
All right.
Oh, anytime.
See you all later, everybody that's still in the chat.
Yep.
There's still 3 people out there somewhere. Three
Three
people.
Yeah. I'll give him a what for when you guys are gone.
All right. See you
Catch
later.
you later. Yep.
See ya. All right. Have a good one, everyone. I'll knock it on the head now. Take it easy. Oh.